Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I have finally done it. I have bought myself a Sizex Big Shot machine. Now, I'm not sure if you can notice here because I am healing a little bit, but I was starting to get calluses on my fingers from using the scissors so much. And I was in quite a lot of pain with it. So I've decided to buy this second hand, not brand new. Didn't pay very much for it, maybe around £20. And it's going to help me a lot with making the amount of bows that I make for my summer festivals. So I'm going to go through what I've bought to get this all put together, because I like to be thrifty and try and do things the best I can on a small budget to make the bows cheaper and best affordable for everyone, really. So what I have done is I bought myself some templates. Now, the usual plastic templates that I use are 4.5 inch for the large ones and 3.5 for the small ones. So I went on to AliExpress and I bought myself this template, which is a large 4.5 inch die. Now, these are called cutting dies. This wooden side shows you what the template looks like, and on this side it's like a foam, but don't press in between here because there are sharp blades. And then I have this one, which I've just been using, which is a 3.5 inch bow. Now, what I've found through making these recently is the small top layer that goes on top of this large bow is really small, and I like the middle of the 3.5 inch bow to go on top of the 4.5 inch bow, and that looks a lot better. I'll just grab an example and show you what I mean. So here we've got two of the large bows. Now, I've used the tail from the large 4.5 inch on both of them, and we've used the middle, this middle layer, the red and the plain pink here, is this larger piece. So we've used this one and this one, but on this pepper bow, this is the smaller piece that goes with the 4.5 inch bow, and this one is the middle piece from the 3.5 inch bow. And personally, I quite like how that one looks. This is a little bit too small for me. So what I've been doing is I've been using the Big Shot to cut out the tail, the middle, and then the middle of the 3.5 to make the 4.5 inch bows. The small 3.5 inch also has sort of a small one. Now, I haven't tried yet putting this one on here to see how that goes, but I would think it would probably, yeah, it's kind of the same size as this middle one, just not as fat. So I don't know whether that would work or not. It probably wouldn't work. So I'm not going to change the 3.5 inch bows. They look quite cute. So I'm going to leave this and use this as the 3.5, use all those pieces on there for 3.5. But on the 4.5, we're going to ignore this one completely and use that, that and that. So I've been cutting out some today that I wanted to show you. These are going to be the tops for a bow that I'm making, and they are this one, the 3.5 inch middle. So I've finished with this die for now. So the next one I'm going to be cutting is this shiny fabric for the tails. So I'll show you how I do that. I'm just going to show you some other parts to this Big Shot. So these are the plates. Now, one, as you can see, is, it's got some slight markings on it, but not a lot. So I use that as a base plate. And this one, as you can see, it looks all, you can't see through it anymore. These are glittery ones as well. They were the cheapest one on Amazon. I'll try and link everything. Can't link this because it was second hand, which I bought on an app called Vinted. But I'm sure your local marketplaces or your local second hand apps, you might be able to find one of these for cheap. these were from Amazon, these cutting plates. They were the cheapest ones. They are the standard size cutting plates, which they are smaller than this die. You can get extended ones, but they're quite expensive. So what I've been doing is just cutting the tail part and putting that through, or just cutting the middle part and putting that through, and that works just fine, which I'll show you in a little minute. But where this cuts, it does mark the plastic, but it doesn't alter the strength at all, and this is normal. So I'm going to show you in this video how I measure the fabric to do this, and also in another video I made these ones last night, and the fabric here I needed to do the placement of this fabric to make sure she was in the middle. So I'll do a video on placement and how to work out how you cut your fabric to place it on here to get it in the right place. So let's go ahead and do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off for now, because before we cut anything we need to do some measuring. Now you just need a ruler. You can use a tape measure or a ruler, whatever you've got to hand. And we're going to be doing the tails. So we measure the tails. So I know it is a 4.5 inch bow, so this is 4.5 inch wide. So we just want to measure just slightly past. So I'm going to do it 4 3/4 inches in length. And then in width, we go to the widest part, which is just over 2.5. So we're going to do 2.5. So it's 4 3/4 inches and 2.5 inches. So what I like to do, just grab a pen. I'm going to use these fabrics that I've got a bit cut out first. I need 10 of these. So what we're going to do, we'll do the width first. I might do it this way. So it was 2.5. So I'm going to mark there the start and then 2.5. So we're going to do that, and then it was 4 3/4 inches. So we go to 4 3/4 and just mark it, and do the same at this end, 4 3/4, and then join those dots up. If there is a better way of doing this, if you do it in a better way, please let me know, because I am only just starting out with this. I've been hand cutting for nearly, well, 12 years now. Been hand cutting for just over 11 years, we'll say. So this is my first time doing this with the Big Shot machine. It's faster. So we'll do some pros and cons. So the pros are, it is a lot faster than hand cutting. It is nice and easy on my hands. My daughter can help me out as long as I've pre-cut all these. She likes to help where she can, and this makes it so she can cut them for me, whereas when I was hand cutting she couldn't do it. She couldn't get the scissors through the glitter fabric. Just a bit of a pain really. So anyone can help me really now, as long as I have cut out what I need and let them know which bits need cutting to which size. Anyone can help me do this now, which is a bonus. Cons, and there are quite a few cons, but for me, the time I'm saving and the pressure on my fingers, because I've now got indents in my actual fingers now, the pros outweigh the cons, even though there are more cons. Hope that makes sense. It's so much better for me to be doing it this way than any other way. Now, you just need to make as best use of this fabric, like spacing it out as you can. Now, this is another con. So when I was using the templates, I could place the templates on the fabric and fit them in so tightly, touching each other, that there would be no space and I would use every single piece of the fabric. Now there is a lot more wastage. But as I say, the pros outweigh the cons for me. And so this is a much better way of doing it. And also with these scrappy bits, don't throw them away unless they're really, really minuscule, because they can be used for centres, snap clip covers, lots of little bits and pieces. So I need 10, so I think we've done 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I should be able to get another 5 out of this one without having to go into this one. So as always, I've got a little scrap bin. Anything that I am throwing away, I will put into there. Just going to cut these off into manageable sizes. Now, what I will say is I am not giving up hand cutting altogether. I do have some designs that I don't have templates for or dies for. So I will still be hand cutting certain patterns. My mermaid bows and things like that. But as for all the normal regular pattern stuff I do, it's going to be this from now on. There's not much more I can do about it. It's a lot faster and easier for me. Okay, so again, we measure it out. I might just fast forward this section so you can just give it a watch. So there we have the 10 pieces. Now, in the time it's taken me to measure and draw those out, it's probably less time than what it would take me to draw around all the templates. So that is a bonus. Now, what we need to do is get the machine on the table. The same machine, the good thing about this is it's all operated by hand. Now we put the bottom plate on and we put the die on top. And what we need to do is, I can put, now this isn't a thick glittery fabric, it's a thin mirrored sheet. So I can probably put 3, I can maybe put 4, but I'm not going to push it today. At the most 3 on here. Now what I need to do is make sure I put that on top of where I want to cut, so on top of that die, that pattern there. And I need to make sure that my fabric is all the way covering all those lines. And you can just feel it a little bit. Don't push on too hard because there is a blade under there. And you can do it metallic side up, metallic side down, it doesn't matter. And then you just need to make sure that all your pieces are the right size and that they all line up together. So that they're going to cover that template the same. You're not going to have any edges cut off. And then we get your B plate. I've got an A and a B plate. I've heard people call them certain things. And we put it on top like that so it's sandwiched in. And then we just push it into the big slot. And then we just start winding it round like that. It's got a bit of resistance on this one. That's it. And you can hear the blades cutting. We just wind that through. And you can see how the plates don't fit, but I'm not using this template anyway. Now, if I had something on here, the part that hasn't been sandwiched won't cut. So that's why this is fine. If I wanted to do the whole template at once, I would need some extended plates. Now, this fabric has stuck to this plate because of the sharpness of these blades. But what we have there, you can peel off the excess. And we have 3 perfectly cut tails. Now, this is what I mean by wastage. So if I was doing this by hand, there wouldn't be any of this excess here. Now, I don't know how much it would make if I grouped them together, if I could get an extra tail on or not, but I would have some more extra excess which can be used for other things. But this is quite a bulkier shape compared to my old one anyway. It's a little bit fatter. So they are taking, I could probably get 1 less bow per cut on these. So I'm just going to go ahead. I've got 10 to do. So I've done 3. I'm going to do another 3. This time I'm going to do it this way up so you can see. I need to make sure I'm covering all of that. And then again, make sure it's sandwiched nicely in the plates. And try not to let that slip under there as well. You can put a little bit of tape on it if you need to. Push that in there until, I like to do it until it won't push anymore, and then we grab this handle and help it through, and it gets stuck. So hold on to the handle and just wind. I can do it 2 fingers, it's that easy. And we just wind it through, and then again peel off that excess. And a perfect cut again. So now this would have taken me twice as long from cutting these out. I mean, I am a fast cutter, but obviously these are all perfect, they're all the same, and it's done straight away. Now I've got 4 left. I'm going to try, see if I can do all 4 at once. Or if it gets stuck, I might have to, you can do 1 piece obviously, but if it gets stuck, and the only thing is when you put lots of layers on, you've got to make sure they're all equal and they're all covering that cutter, the blade, and then we'll push that through. Let's see if we can do 4. Is it going to do it? Yes. And you can just hear it slicing there as well. And there we go. And that cutter has managed to do 4. So in the time, it took a few seconds for me to cut 4 then. So that is another pro for using this. So I've just cut out 10 perfectly the same base layers, and that would have taken me more than twice the time to do that by hand cutting. So for the little bit of extra excess we have, all that time is saved. Hasn't hurt my fingers at all. Someone else can help me do it. And now I need to do the big ones. So the same applies for the big ones. I mean, you can sit and prep all this and then just have a night cutting, but I like to know where I'm at with things. So what I have noticed with this is this is a wider template. I'll get one of my old ones. So this is the same size. This is a 4.5 inch bow. But if you put it on top of this template, you can see all of this extra excess. Maybe this side will be easier to notice it on. All of that extra excess of fabric here. And because of how much wider it is as well, I can now only get 4 of these onto an A4 sheet, whereas you used to be able to get 5. So that is also a con. But this is the shape I chose. I've been trying to get the die for these plastic, to match these plastic templates. I'm just waiting for the company who makes them to get back to me because they have stopped making them, just to see if we can have one made or if there's any left over when they stopped making them. So fingers crossed. Right, now this template comes just short of 7 1/4, but 8. Now usually this is the width of an A4 sheet of paper. So usually I just cut them across. But today I want to use this roll that I've had for the longest amount of time from paper-and-string.co.uk. Paper and string. I've had it for the longest time and it needs to be used. And it's just a little bit bigger, so it's probably going to be good. So all we need to do on this is measure the width. Now the width is just over 2, so we're going to do 3 inch wide. So all we have to do on this is every 3 inches. Let's do 3 at a time, so we do 9. Oh, we can do 12, can't we? I don't know if I'm going to have enough fabric to do this, so we might have to get a different fabric. But for every 3 inches, we're just going to mark 3, 6, 9 and 12 is the end. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom here. Three, 6, 9. And then I'm just going to draw, doesn't have to be a strong line, just a faint line across, just to make sure I cut it straight. So this has given us 1, 2, 3, 4. Haven't got lots and lots of this fabric, so let's see how many more we can get. Let's see if we can do 12 again. We can. Sorry if this is showing everyone what they already know, but like I say, I'm extremely new to this, and after having a little bit of advice off a very kind lady in one of the bow groups I'm in, this is what she suggested to measure the piece I need and just cut it out. So if anyone has got a better way for me to do this, please do comment. Or if you like the way I'm doing this, please do comment. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 2 more and we will get it out of this piece of fabric, which is great. And these are going to be stitch bows. Are going to be Stitch Lego mini figure bows. I have these to put on them. Let's just get these pieces cut out first, and hopefully this video has been informative to anyone starting out and wondering whether hand cutting or machine cutting is best. Now, I'm an advocate for both because, like I say, I've been hand cutting for over 11 years. So I would say if you can't afford all the dies that you need to get for this big shop machine, hand cutting is your best way. Now, that's another con that goes against the pros. So the pros of hand cutting is plastic templates cost between £3 and £5, depending on what you're getting and where you're getting it from. US dollars, I guess that is between $5 and $8 for a plastic template, something like that. I'm not sure what the current exchange rate is. But dyes are anything from, if you use AliExpress, I think the ones that I bought cost £30 for the two, the bigger one being more expensive. I will put a list in, a link in the description of the video to the ones that I bought from AliExpress. There's nothing wrong with them. I think they're all made in China anyway. But I've found, while I've been searching for bow templates, dyes for these Size X machine, there's more to buy second hand than there is new. There's not a lot of stockists who've got them in stock. So I found it hard to find the shapes I want. Now what I do recommend is that you go onto Facebook and join craft bow de-stash groups, crafting de-stash groups, anything like that in your area. Now obviously I'm in the UK. I don't know what's in the US. But it is a wood dye for the die cut machine. So that's what you need to be looking for. There's lots of different ones. eBay has them. I'm not sure on Amazon. But like I say, AliExpress, second-hand craft stash groups. But they're still quite expensive. I'd say between 15 and 20. Some are even £30 depending on which one you want. So there's a lot of different places that do them. Rosie's Craft Shop, Eliza Henry. There's one called a dolly bow. I'm not sure what that is. I don't use them. My favourites are the Rosie's Craft Shop ones. But like I say, she's stopped making them now. Okay, so this is a really thin fabric again. So I'm going to get 4 sheets. This is a really thin, fine glitter. So I'm doing this big one. So I'm going to place it right at the end and right on the edge. Now this was a roll of fabric, so it's curling over. So what I want to make sure I do is get them all laid up nice and neatly. But I need to stop those edges from curling up. Okay, so they are all covering that template. So we'll get the top one, put it over there like that, push it through and give it a twist. Yeah, this is easily doing 4. I could probably do 5 sheets of this at once. And like I say, the time it would have taken me to draw around those templates and then cut these out would have been a lot more than what that's just taken. So here we go. And don't matter that that went over this or this went over here. You got some funky shapes. It doesn't matter. We just throw those bits away. Peel off the excess. There is quite a bit of excess there, but that's okay. And there we have 4 perfectly cut out middles. So I've got 6 left. I'm going to try and put all 6 on. I think it's more than capable of doing this thin fabric. So, like I say, you can put a bit of tape on this to keep it in place if you need to. It's a tip that someone gave me. I haven't done it yet, but I can see that it would be quite good to stop the fabric moving. And the tape's so thin, the die would just cut straight through it, and you just need to remember to peel it off. So I'm just gonna layer these 6 up. It is more than capable of cutting through this 6, but that is because this is a really fine glitter. If it was chunky glitter, I would probably do 2, possibly 3, depending on how much it struggled with 2. So sandwich that together. I just need to make sure that hasn't slipped. No, we're good. And then we're going to see if it will do 6. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, easily. More than 3 of those other ones that we did. It's a lot easier. And then pop. And that was as we got to the end of the sheets. Noticed it does that when you have quite a lot on there. And there we go, it's not struggled at all. Nice little bit of excess there. Didn't struggle to cut them out at all. So in the time it's taken me to do 10, I'd probably still be sat drawing around them, never mind cutting them out. I'd still be sat cutting around those in the time it's taken me to do all of these. So I'm not going to stick these on camera today. The whole point was just to show you the pros and cons of the Big Shot, the Sizex Big Shot machine, and what its capabilities are. There's 3 different types of fabric there. I didn't do a chunky glitter just because I'm not doing that project at the minute, but it is more than capable of doing chunky glitter. Haven't tried card or anything like that. There's different things you can get to make card, to cut card out, sorry, and different things. There's lots of things you can do with the Sizex Big Shot, embossing, all sorts of things, but I primarily bought it for this reason. So this is what I've tested out. So we've got a mirrored leatherette, we've got a suede, I did that off camera, and very, very fine glitter. I will be using this more often. Hopefully I will get my original bow shape back if I can get that template. If not, this is my new shape. I quite like them, they're not much different to the old one. But yeah, overall, the Sizex Big Shot review, I've been converted. All these years I've said I don't want to do it, it's too expensive. It finally took its toll and I'm 100% with it. So I hope that was quite informative for you. I will make some more videos doing more things with the Sizex. If you've got any questions or anything like that, you can pop it in the comments, or you can go over to my Facebook group. Everything will be linked in the description, including the links to those dies. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for sticking around and watching, and see you later. Bye bye.